my people, gather close. Are you there? Hey, I say, are you there? Good. I must tell you about a young man, a very foolish young man named Kwame. Now, this Kwame, this boy, had a mouse sharper than a barber's razor, faster than a lizard running from a hawk, and more dangerous than pepper in your eye. They called him Laughing Gas. Why? Because wherever Kwame went, wahala followed, trouble followed, and people would laugh so hard they would forget their own names. But my people, listen well. Not every laughter brings joy. Some laughter cuts deeper than a knife. So settle yourselves. Adjust your wrapper. Hold your neighbor's hand if you're afraid, because this story will make you laugh. Let us begin.
That morning, what a morning. The village market was alive. The women shouted, "Fresh tomatoes, come and buy." The men argued, "This fish is too costly." The children chased chickens, kwe, 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 kwe. And the smell, smoked fish dancing with ripe mangoes. Into this beautiful chaos came Kwame. He walked like a peacock, head high, shoulders back, and his mouth already warming up for mischief. Good morning, my people. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and Kwame is here to bring you joy. But the people didn't smile from happiness, oh no, they smiled from fear, because everyone was thinking, please God, don't let him notice me today. Then Kwame saw him, Yeboah, the yam seller. These yams, so heavy. Yeboah was a big man. I mean big. The kind of big that when he walks, even the ground says, take it easy, my brother. And Kwame, his eyes sparkled with mischief. Hey, Yeboah, my friend, I now understand why the yams are struggling. They are confused. They are thinking, wait, are we sitting on a sack, or is the sack sitting on us? Can you imagine? And the market exploded. Ha. Even the goats stopped eating to laugh. The chickens flapped their wings. One woman laughed so hard she dropped her basket. But Yeboah, poor Yeboah, just wiped his face and looked down, shame covering him like a heavy blanket.
Then Mama Efi, you know Mama Efi, the one who sells pepper and wisdom in equal measure. She pointed her finger at Kwame. Kwame, one day your mouth will dig a hole so deep, even your laughter cannot fill it. Kwame waved his hand dismissively. Mama Efi, don't be like that. Laughter is medicine. Mama Efi wagged her finger. Yes, my son, but even medicine can kill you if you drink too much. Am I lying? You are not lying. But Kwame, he just laughed and bounced away. A few steps later, he met Mama Ama, the tomato seller. Now this woman had suffered. Life had beaten her, but she kept smiling. She walked with a limp, one leg shorter than the other from an old accident. She was carrying her basket, minding her business, just trying to survive another day. But Kwame saw her and his mouth started itching again. Hey, Mama Ama, your legs are amazing. The left leg is dancing reggae, but the right leg is playing high life. Tell me, which DJ is controlling your feet?
And he started dancing her walk, humming two different songs. The crowd roared with laughter. Ha 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 ha. But look at Mama Ama. Her eyes filled with water. Her lips trembled. And without saying one word, she turned and hurried away as fast as her broken leg could carry her. Coffee, Kwame's friend, the quiet one, the one with sense, grabbed his arm. Kwame, that was too much. That woman has suffered since the accident. Why must you add to her pain? Kwame brushed him off, laughing. Coffee, stop being old before your time. I'm just spreading joy. Kofi shook his head slowly. My brother, when you laugh at another person's pain, the gods stop laughing with you. Remember that. But Kwame, stubborn like a goat with his head stuck in a fence, he didn't listen. You know that kind of person? Hey, we all know somebody like that.
Now, the next Sunday, my people, even church was not safe from Kwame's mouth. The whole village gathered under the big mango tree for service. The sun was hot. I mean hot, hot. The kind of heat that makes you question your life choices. And the pastor, good man, gentleman, kind man. But there was one small problem. His head was bald, not just bald, shining, glowing like a new calabash, like a freshly polished pot, like the morning sun reflecting off the river. The pastor began to preach. My children, today we talk about humility, about how we must treat each other with kindness and respect. But Kwame, sitting at the back, you know where the troublemakers always sit, he squinted at that shining head and whispered, but loudly, look at that. The pastor's head is reflecting the light like Moses on the mountain. Pastor, please turn slightly before you blind us with your blessings. The church gasped. Hey! Some people covered their mouths. Some looked at the ground. Some couldn't help it and started giggling. But Kwame wasn't finished though. Oh no. He stood up. Pastor, your head is so smooth. Even mosquitoes will sleep when they try to land. Tell us the secret. Is that shine from anointing oil or cooking oil?
And the church burst. Nervous laughter, shocked laughter, the kind of laughter that makes you feel guilty even while you are doing it. But the pastor, he closed his Bible slowly, gently. Son, you mock what God has made. The same mouth that laughs can one day cry. Be careful how you use it. Kwame waved his hand carelessly. Pastor, I'm only spreading joy. Don't be so serious. The pastor sighed deeply. Then, may your laughter one day teach you wisdom. The people murmured. Even Kofi stayed behind, too ashamed to walk with his friend. But Kwame, he strutted out, proud, chest out, still laughing. My people, do you see where this is going? Hey, pride comes before what? A fall. Exactly. Days passed. Kwame's tongue grew sharper. His jokes became crueler. He mocked a man who stammered. My friend, are you speaking or you are a broken record? He teased a woman with a lazy eye. Sister, please look at me when I'm talking to you. Oh wait, which eye should I face? He called a boy with big ears. Hey boy, when the wind blows, do you fly? Every day more mockery, more laughter. But look carefully, my people. The laughter was changing. Some people still laughed, yes. But others, they turned away. They whispered. They shook their heads. Then came the day of his downfall. The sun stood high in the sky, burning the ground, when a stranger walked into the market. Tall, slender, wearing a clean white kaftan that moved like water. He walked with quiet grace like royalty. The man reached for some mangoes, and as he stretched, the cloth pulled tight across his chest. And everyone saw. He was not like other men. His body carried both the strength of a man and the curves of a woman. His chest was full and round, like a woman's breasts. Kwame's eyes went wide. Oh, you should have seen his face, like a child who just discovered candy. His mouth started watering with mischief. This was it. This was the biggest joke he would ever make. Hey, he shouted, pointing his finger like an arrow. My people, come and see. What is this? Is it a man? Is it a woman? Maybe the gods got confused when they were creating this one. Maybe they were drunk on palm wine and poured from both pots. The market froze. No laughter, no sound, just silence, heavy like a thundercloud. But Kwame, he didn't notice. He was too busy performing. Tell me, my friend, when you go to bathe at the river, do you go with the men or with the women? Or do they build you your own river? And what about the clothes? Do you shop in the men's section or the women's section? Do you wear a bra under that kaftan? Maybe you wear it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but not on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But listen, my people. Listen carefully. The stranger turned slowly, like the earth turning on its axis. And his eyes were deep, dark, heavy, like looking into a well with no bottom, like staring into the night itself. People stepped back, even the brave ones, even the foolish ones. Everyone felt something ancient, something powerful, something dangerous. The stranger spoke, and his voice was low like thunder rolling across the mountains. You find joy in mocking what you do not understand. You laugh at the pain of others. You think yourself clever, but you are merely cruel. But Kwame, still laughing, still performing, still thinking he was winning. Oh, and now the woman man speaks. Wonderful. Tell us more. Do you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or both? A few people, nervous people, foolish people, they chuckled. Small, scared chuckles. But most stayed silent, watching, waiting, knowing that something terrible was about to happen.
The stranger's face remained calm, but his eyes grew darker, deeper, like bottomless pits. You have mocked your last person, Kwame, the laughing gas. Since you find such joy in laughter, let laughter become your prison. He lifted his hand, just one hand, and he spoke in a language no one had ever heard. Strange words, ancient words, words that seemed to ripple through the air like stones dropped in water, spreading, spreading, spreading until they touched everything and everyone. From this moment, you shall laugh without cease. Every waking moment, laughter shall pour from your mouth until you understand the pain you have caused. Only when you have truly felt the weight of mockery and have begged for forgiveness from those you have hurt shall you be free. But know this, the laughter will drive you to the edge of madness and you may not return. Kwame opened his mouth. Oh, he opened it wide, ready to make his biggest joke yet, ready to mock the cause, ready to show everyone how funny this was. But what came out? It was laughter, but not his laughter. Not his usual boisterous, controlled, clever laughter. No, no, no. This was wild laughter, uncontrollable laughter, laughter that seemed to come from deep in his belly, bubbling up like water from a cursed well. He tried to stop. Oh, how he tried. He clamped his mouth shut, but the laughter forced through his nose. He covered his nose, but the laughter shook his whole body. His eyes went wide with confusion, then with fear. The stranger turned and walked away, calmly, peacefully. And as he walked, his body seemed to shimmer like heat waves on a hot road. And then he was gone, vanished, like smoke, like a dream, like he was never there at all. The market stood in shock. Hey! People whispered. Did you see that? Where did he go? Who was that man? What kind of power was that? But Kwame? Still laughing, laughing, laughing. He fell to his knees, his hands clawing at his throat, tears streaming from his eyes. But the laughter wouldn't stop. Kofi rushed to his friend's side. Kwame! Kwame, what's wrong? Talk to me.
But Kwame couldn't talk. He tried. Oh, how he tried. He opened his mouth. He moved his tongue. But only laughter came out. Ha ha ha. He pointed frantically to his mouth, his eyes begging, pleading. Help me. Help me. Make it stop. But it wouldn't stop. It couldn't stop. The market crowd gathered around, no longer mocking, no longer laughing, just watching in horror. And yes, let me be honest, some in satisfaction, because there were people in that crowd who remembered. They remembered Yabwa's shame. They remembered Mama Ama's tears. They remembered every person Kwame had hurt with his sharp tongue. And now they watched as the laughing gas choked on his own medicine.
Mama Effie crossed herself and said what everyone was thinking. The ancestors have spoken. The boy has finally gone too far. Over the next hour, Kwame laughed continuously. He couldn't eat because he was laughing. He couldn't drink because he was laughing. In fact, he tried to write messages with his finger in the dust. But his hands shook so badly from the laughter that nothing was clear. Kofi tried to take him home, but Kwame was laughing so hard he could barely walk. His legs wobbled. His body trembled. The laughter was consuming him from the inside out. People began to gather, not to mock this time. Oh no, that would be too cruel even for them, but to watch in horror and pity. Some remembered the jokes Kwame had made at their expense and felt a grim satisfaction. Now he knows, they whispered. Now he understands. Others, more compassionate, felt genuine concern. This is too much, they said. Nobody deserves this. But whether they pitied him or felt satisfied, everyone agreed on one thing. Kwame was being taught a lesson by powers far greater than any human could wield. By evening, Kwame was exhausted. Imagine laughing for 8 hours straight. His face was red, like a ripe tomato. His ribs ached like someone had beaten him with sticks. His throat was raw and painful. His stomach muscles cramped. His jaw hurt. Even his teeth hurt. But still, the laughter continued. Ha! It was no longer funny to anyone, least of all to Kwame himself. Every ha was torture. Every breath was agony. But he could not stop. The curse was absolute. Kofi finally managed to half carry, half drag him back to his small house on the outskirts of the village. Kwame's mother, a devout woman who had always warned her son about his sharp tongue, wept when she saw him. My son, what have you done? I warned you. I told you your mouth will be your downfall." But Kwame could only laugh in response, tears streaming down his face, his eyes begging her for help she could not give. His mother held him and cried, rocking him like a baby, while the terrible laughter continued to pour out of him like water from a broken pot. That night was the longest of Kwame's life. He couldn't sleep because of the laughter. Every time exhaustion tried to pull him under, the laughter yanked him back awake. Ha, 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 ha. His body was exhausted, but his mouth kept producing that terrible sound. His mother sat beside him all night, praying, crying, wiping his tears, but nothing helped. By dawn, Kwame looked like a ghost of himself, pale, trembling, his eyes bloodshot and wild, his lips cracked and bleeding from the constant movement. If you had seen him, you would not have recognized the proud, cocky young man from the day before. This was a broken creature, tortured by his own voice. Kofi arrived early with the village elder, a wizened man in his 80s, known for his wisdom and spiritual knowledge. The elder examined Kwame carefully, watching the endless laughter, observing the young man's desperate eyes. He walked around him 3 times, sniffed the air,
touched Kwame's forehead and finally nodded gravely. "This is a curse born of justice," the elder said, his voice heavy with authority. The man he mocked was not an ordinary person. Some say he was a powerful herbalist from the ancient lineage. Others say he was a spirit in human form, one of the guardians who walk among us to test our character. Either way, the curse is real and powerful, very powerful. "How do we break it?" Kofi asked desperately, his voice cracking. "Please, elder, there must be a way. He is my friend, my brother. I can't watch him suffer like this." The elder stroked his grey beard slowly, thinking. The man said it himself when he pronounced the curse. Kwame must seek forgiveness from those he has hurt. But it must be genuine, from a place of true understanding and remorse. Empty words will not suffice. The spirits can see into the heart. They will know if he is truly sorry or just saying what he thinks they want to hear. But how could Kwame beg forgiveness when all he could do was laugh? This was the cruelty of the curse. He was being punished but couldn't even apologize. It was like being trapped in a nightmare where you scream but no sound comes out. The elder thought for a moment, then went to his bag and began mixing herbs. He pulled out dried leaves, roots, powders of different colors. He ground them together in a small calabash, added water from a sacred stream and muttered prayers over the mixture. "This will not stop the laughter," he warned as he finished preparing it. "Nothing can stop it except fulfilling the curse's conditions. But this will give him brief moments of clarity, perhaps a few words at a time, small windows where the laughter will subside just enough for him to speak. He must use them wisely. Every word counts." Kwame drank the bitter concoction, still laughing. It tasted terrible, like drinking mud mixed with bitter leaf and disappointment. But within a few minutes, he felt something shift inside him. The laughter didn't stop, but for just a few seconds, it weakened. Just enough, just barely enough. "Thank you," he managed to gasp out before the laughter consumed him once more, rising up like a tidal wave and drowning his voice again. Kofi led his friend through the village, starting with those Kwame had hurt most recently. First, they went to Mama Ama's house. The old woman opened her door, saw Kwame laughing uncontrollably, and started to close it again. The pain was still fresh, the humiliation still burned. But Kofi stopped her with pleading eyes. "Please, Mama Ama, he has come to beg your forgiveness. Look at him. Look at what his cruelty has brought upon him." Kwame stood there laughing. But in his eyes, genuine remorse was visible. It was not the empty eyes of someone just going through motions. No, these were the eyes of someone who had been broken and rebuilt into something different. During a brief break in the laughter, powered by the elder's medicine, he managed to gasp out words that came from his soul. "Mama, Ama, I'm sorry, your leg, I was cruel, forgive me, please." The laughter immediately resumed with vengeance, but Mama Ama saw the tears in his eyes, the genuine anguish. Her heart, already soft with age and wisdom, melted. "I forgive you, my son," she said softly, reaching out to touch his shaking shoulder. "I have lived long enough to know that pain teaches what words cannot. You are learning now. May you carry this lesson for the rest of your life." As she spoke those words of forgiveness, something miraculous happened. Kwame's laughter lessened slightly. Not much, maybe only someone paying close attention would notice, but it became fractionally less intense. It was still there, still controlling him, still torturing him, but there was the tiniest bit of relief. Like a heavy stone had been removed from a pile of heavy stones. The burden was still crushing, but slightly less so. They continued through the village. At Yebo's yam stall, Kwame laughed and tried to kneel, to show his remorse with his body, since his voice was imprisoned. Between gaffes of laughter, he managed to say, Yebo, I mocked your size, but you are twice the man I am. You work hard, feed your family. I just made jokes. Forgive me. Yebo, who had always been kind-hearted despite Kwame's mockery, despite the public humiliation, smiled sadly. I forgive you, Kwame. Perhaps now you understand that we all carry burdens we cannot help. My size feeds my children. Your laughter fed only your pride, but pride cannot sustain you when trouble comes. Again, the laughter decreased slightly. Another stone removed from the pile. This pattern continued throughout the day. Kwame and Kofi, walking from house to house, compound to compound, humble beggars seeking mercy. They visited the woman with the lazy eye. Kwame, laughing and crying simultaneously, begged, "Ha ha, sister, I mocked your eye. Ha ha, but you see more clearly than I do. Forgive." She forgave him, remembering her own pain but choosing mercy over bitterness. They visited the man with the stutter. Brother, I mocked your speech. Ha ha ha. I mocked your speech. Ha 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 ha. But you speak more truth than I ever did. Forgive me. The man, who knew what it was like to struggle to speak, saw Kwame's struggle and forgave him. They visited the young boy with protruding ears. Ha ha ha. Little brother, I called you radio. Ha ha ha. I was wrong. You hear better than most. Ha 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 ha. Forgive me. The boy's mother forgave on his behalf, seeing that Kwame had learnt his lesson.
And every person Kwame could remember mocking, the lame, the scarred, the different, the vulnerable, he sought them out. Some forgave him immediately, moved by his obvious suffering, by the tears mixed with his laughter, by the brokenness of a proud man brought low. Others needed more convincing, hurt by years of his jokes, years of being the punchline, years of shame. They made him wait. They made him explain. They made him feel, for just a moment, what they had felt every time he pointed and laughed. But eventually, seeing his genuine remorse, seeing his terrible affliction, seeing that the universe itself had stepped in to teach him, they all forgave him. Every single one. By evening, Kwame's laughter had reduced significantly. It was still there, oh yes, the course was not finished with him yet, but he could speak in full sentences now, though fits of laughter still interrupted him frequently. He could walk steadily. He could think more clearly. The relief was immense, like breathing air after being underwater. But there was one more person he needed to find, the most important one. The mysterious man who had cursed him, the one whose pain Kwame had mocked so cruelly in front of everyone.
Where do we find him? Kwame asked Kofi during a break from laughing. I must apologize to him, most of all. He's the one I hurt the deepest. He's the one who... The laughter cut him off again. But Kofi understood. The village elder who had been following their journey with approval spoke up. The man you seek is not easily found. He does not walk the normal paths that normal men walk. But there is a place, the old crossroads outside the village, where three paths meet under the ancient Iroko tree. It is said that those from the spirit world sometimes appear there at sunset, when the boundary between our world and theirs grows thin. You might try there. If he wants to be found, he will come. As the sun began its descent, painting the sky in magnificent shades of orange and purple and red, as if the heavens themselves were watching this drama unfold, Kwame and Kofi made their way to the ancient crossroads. It was a place of power. Everyone knew this. The Iroko tree had stood there for generations, so old that the oldest person in the village had heard stories about it from their grandparents. Its massive trunk was thick as a house. Its branches spread like arms, embracing the sky. And there were stories, oh, so many stories about things seen and heard at these crossroads. Spirits, ancestors, warnings, blessings. As they arrived, the last rays of sunlight filtered through the Iroko's leaves, creating dancing shadows on the ground. And there, as if he had been waiting all along, as if this meeting was always meant to happen, a figure emerged from the shadows beneath the tree. It was him, the mysterious man, still wearing his white kaftan, still carrying that otherworldly presence that made the air feel heavier, more significant, more alive.
Kwame fell to his knees immediately, not caring that the ground was hard, not caring that stones beat into his skin. His laughter continued, but softer now, subdued in the presence of this being. Sir, I have come to beg your forgiveness. I mocked you without knowing your suffering, your story, your pain. I was cruel and thoughtless. I am so sorry. The man looked down at Kwame with those dark, penetrating eyes that seemed to see not just Kwame's face, but his soul, his past, his future, everything he was and could be. The silence stretched. Even Kwame's laughter seemed to quiet in respect. Finally, the man spoke. Tell me, Kwame, what have you learned? Kwame struggled to control his laughter long enough to give a proper answer. This was important. This was everything. The curse had taught him, broken him, rebuilt him, and now he needed to prove that the lessons had taken root. I learned that everyone has a story. Pain we cannot see, struggles we don't understand. I laughed at others without thinking how it hurt them, how it made them feel small, worthless, less than human. I was selfish and cruel. I used laughter as a weapon to build myself up by tearing others down. I don't deserve forgiveness, but I am truly, truly sorry. If I could take back every word, every joke, every moment of pain, I would. I swear I would. The mysterious man was silent for a long moment, studying Kwame like a teacher studies a student, trying to determine if the lesson has truly been learned or if it's just been memorized. Then, slowly, surprisingly, he knelt down to Kwame's level. For the first time since this all began, his stern face softened slightly, like ice beginning to thaw. You see my chest, Kwame, and you thought it was funny. You made your jokes, your gestures, your cruel observations. But do you know how I got this condition? Do you know my story? Kwame shook his head, tears pouring down his face, mixing with the sweat of exhaustion, the blood on his cracked lips. No, sir. I never asked. I never cared. I just saw something different and laughed. I'm so ashamed. Tears poured down Kwame's face. The man placed a hand on Kwame's shoulder, and his touch was warm, humane, forgiving. You see my chest, Kwame, and you thought it was funny. You made your jokes, your gestures, your cruel observations. But do you know how I got this condition? Do you know my story? Yes, I understand now. Yes, I understand. I will never, ever mock another person. I swear it on my mother's life, on everything I hold dear. I understand. Then I lift my curse, the man said simply. But know this, Kwame, if you return to your old ways, if you mock others again, if you use laughter as a weapon instead of a gift,
the curse will return. And next time, it may never leave. You will laugh until your last breath, until your heart gives out from exhaustion. Do you understand? Kwame nodded vigorously. I understand. I swear, I will never forget this lesson. Never. Kwame's laughter stopped just like that. He gasped, touching his mouth in wonder, afraid to believe it. No laughter came out. He opened his mouth to test it, and actual words emerged, clear and unlaughing. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, and I promise you I will never mock another person again. Never. I am a new man. You have saved me.
In the weeks that followed, Kwame became a changed man, truly changed, not just pretending, not just afraid of the curse returning, but genuinely, deeply, fundamentally changed in his soul. He still had his wit and humor. Those gifts don't disappear. But now, he used them to lift people up rather than tear them down. When he saw Yebowa strolling with yam sacks, instead of making jokes, he rolled up his sleeves and helped carry them, and they laughed together like brothers. When Mama Ama walked through the market, he offered his arm for support, and they walked slowly together, and he listened to her stories about her youth before the accident, when she had been the best dancer in 3 villages. The boy with protruding ears received kind words instead of jokes. Young man, Kwame would say, those ears mean you can hear wisdom better than most. Use them well.
I hope you learned something valuable from Kwame's story. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to hear more stories of wisdom. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe they have a sharp tongue that needs softening, or maybe they've been hurt by mockery and need to know they are not alone. Like this video and comment below. What lesson will you carry from this story? How will you change your words starting today?